Brodes Media.
This may surprise everybody. I'm back in. But what are you going to do? I'm back in. Daryl Morey just executed an offseason that only Daryl Morey could execute. It's a new ball game right now with the CBA. There are plenty of franchises that have incompetent human beings in the mix that are struggling to figure out, what do we do here? Bobby Marks, who is clearly very knowledgeable and involved with the NBA front office life, tweeted this out on the 6th of July, so a couple days ago. When the dust settles, Philadelphia will be a good case study on maximizing cap space. By Tyrese Maxey not extending last offseason, more on that in a minute, Philadelphia was able to sign Paul George, Andre Drummond, and Caleb Martin with room. Kelly Oubre will be signed with the room exception. Philadelphia still has a cap hold on KJ Martin and can sign the forward to about $7 to $8 million and use that as a trade asset. The Sixers are nearing the first apron once the roster gets finalized. Now, full transparency, I tried to dive deep into the new rules and this and that. It's confusing as hell. I don't get it. Daryl Morey gets it, though, and it seems like not many really do yet. So we have the one in place that might be setting the tone for the entire NBA universe to follow suit. Do you know what this reminds me of? A good portion of this fan base demanded Howie Roseman to get out of town. Now, that dude is loved more than most in this city. There's a season named after Howie. Howie cooks in the lab like he's doing meth. All right, Breaking Bad. Is that Jesse? No, it's Howie. Right? Well, then you realized, hold on a second. He's got something that others don't. It's Daryl Morey. You could give 50 GMs or president of basketball ops, whatever you want to label them, this offseason, and I don't think two can figure out what Daryl Morey figured out. In what universe, in this era of athletes, do you get somebody to push back an extension the way Tyrese Maxey did? It doesn't happen. Go get your bag. Hold on. The same guy that James Harden said is a clown and you can't trust. The same guy that Pat Bev once mentioned that he was told he would never be traded and eventually was. So apparently, Daryl Morey can't be trusted. Yet Tyrese Maxey, with $200+ million on the line, said, I got you. I got you. Now, what I take out of that is James Harden's been an issue everywhere he went. Seems to be more of a James Harden problem than a Daryl Morey problem. And with the Pat Bev part of it, it was almost like, yeah, there was no intention to trade Pat Bev, but once in a while, something changes mid-season, and, well, if it pops up, it pops up. Yeah, at the time, it wasn't a thought. But your ideas and your philosophy changes as games continue, as the regular season plays out. I just don't see many dudes balling like Tyrese Maxey and then saying, I'll do what's best for my team and for Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey has a part in that. Now, let's get to the ownership side of things. Because for years and years and years, I had to fight with people telling you all that while Joshua Harris is not connected like Jeffrey Lurie and is not connected like John Middleton as one of us, I I don't know how many cities have 4 teams where every single owner is technically one of them. But from an asset standpoint, do you give the Sixers what they need to legitimately compete? Forget the whole new stadium crap and he's only focused on money. Jeffrey Lurie is too. John Middleton is too. They care about money more than you believe. But anyway, yes, they are businessmen. But they fired Brett Brown, hired Doc Rivers. Fired Doc Rivers, paid Nick Nurse. Paid Joel Embiid, paid Ben Simmons, paid Tobias Harris. Now, allocating the money the wrong way is who's in place. And there was some uncomfortable no GM spots and Brett Brown, and it got ugly. But in regards to, here's a free agent like Paul George, here's a fat blank check, let's make it happen. They give you everything to go to work. They don't hold you back. You don't miss out on free agents because Joshua Harris, David Blitzer, and that crew says, no, thank you. I don't think it's worth it. No matter what their end goal is, maybe they think spending X amount of dollars on Paul George means X amount of dollars more in your bank account. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Go get the stars. They're willing to pay the stars. And let's get back to the Daryl Morey front for 1 second. Because if James Harden was promised a max by Morey, and then he, either on the fly adjusted and realized that he's not worth it and did what was best for the franchise going against his word, which is very difficult to do in this league. But if he did, he realized this is way more important to back away from right now. I'm sorry, I can't go all in on Harden. I saw what I needed to see in Game 6. I saw the duo of him and Embiid in 6 and in 7 against the Boston Celtics. I have to go back on my word because, well, I can't back us into a corner. It won't work. I've seen it. So either he gets credit for that, or what if the poor ownership stepped in and said, yo, Daryl, no. Would you like that by your ownership group? To step in the way so a dumb decision wasn't made? If that was the case, hypothetically, here's Paul George on Inside the Meeting that led to becoming a Sixer.
It was a great meeting. Majority of the Philly front office was there at the house. David Blitz came, Josh Harris, Elton Brand, Dr. J. Bro, I had Dr. J in my crib.
That's crazy.
Shout out Peter Dinwiddie, Daryl Morey, just an organization that was like, man, you're our guy. We believe in you. We want you here with Joel, Tyrese together. My family felt it. I felt it. It just felt like, all right, this is where I'm going to spend the next chapter of my life. They sold the city, they sold the team, the organization, the fit. It was just like an opportunity I couldn't pass up.
What did you want to hear from the Sixers?
I think it was just the idea of playing with such a presence in Joel, just a fresh start, new opportunity. I was pretty open on the conversation. Stuff was kind of at a stale with Clippers. And ultimately, it was more so just the idea of one of the best young point guards in the league and one of the best, if not the best, big in the league. Based off the meeting, I did feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. This is who I'm supposed to play for.
Dude, you know what I'm thinking of? Matt Cord, first home game, Wells Fargo Center. Number 8, Paul George! 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 Yo! That's the fans. I'm back! I'm back! Now, Paul George also mentioned in a different clip about what it was like with the negotiations with the Clippers, and maybe they fumbled the bag. Because, well, they might have settled on a deal that would have kept him in Los Angeles, which he wants to be there. That's his vibe, West Coast, and that's fine. 3 years. The money started to get up to a number that he liked, but then he wanted at least a no trade because he wanted the 4th year. And if you weren't going to get the 4th year, at least give me a no trade so I know for the 3 seasons we are tied together at the hip. And they wouldn't do it. All right, well then give me the 4th, so then at least if I am traded, I do have my stability in my contract knowing this is what I'm going to earn. They wouldn't do it. But the job of a GM or a president of basketball operations is to slide in and know how to utilize your leverage. What you have that the Clippers don't have is balls to go that extra 4th year. And the 4th year doesn't bother me. Look, Bryce Harper signed a big-ass contract. He'll be here till he's 37, 38, 39 years old, right? If that man wins a championship this season and he stinks at 37, 38, 39 right now, you'd say that's worth it. And if you say it's not, then you're a fool. But you'd say it's worth it. The reason why you sign him to a big contract is because you expect it to pay off in the prime of it. Well, in the prime of this Paul George deal would be the 1st year, the 2nd year. That's why you do it. If he stinks when he's 38, but he's damn good at 34, and at 34 and 35, you're able to be the competition in the Eastern Conference with the only team up there in the Boston Celtics, then it's worth it. Now, you got to secure the deal and get over the hump and, actually get out of the 2nd round. But in theory, taking this calculated risk is not stupid prior to seeing the results.